Across the heartlands, where the mighty rivers Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna breathe life into the soil, there is a spirit that beats in unison. This spirit does not pay heed to arbitrary borders or the whims of politics. Instead, it draws on centuries of shared history, language, and love. The ineffable force that ties together Bengalis from Bangladesh, West Bengal, Tripura, Assam, and diasporic communities scattered across the globe. At the center of this unity is an identity shaped by tradition, memory, and the profound relationship with the bounty of nature, especially the celebrated Eilish, the Hilsa fish, and the delicate sweets and pithas that accompany the changing of seasons. Bengali culture is at once ancient and alive, pulsing through the veins of millions who speak a common tongue and gather each year to celebrate festivals like Durga Puja, Poila Boishakh, and Nabana. These occasions are rich with rituals and steeped in the aromas of home-cooked feasts passed down from one generation to the next. But perhaps nothing encapsulates the unity of Bengalis more than the rituals of the table, where rice is more than a staple, fish is more than a dish, and each meal is a retelling of shared heritage. The Hilsa fish, whose silver scales shimmer in the river currents, is the quintessence of this culinary heritage. Born of the silt-laden rivers cradled in the Bengal Delta, the Hilsa's journey is poetry in motion. Come monsoon, these legendary fish traverse great distances, swimming upstream from the salty waves of the Bay of Bengal into the arteries of Bangladesh's rivers and beyond. For centuries, the arrival of Hilsa has marked not just a change of seasons, but a time for joyous gatherings, where families and friends unite under one roof for a meal filled with reverence and celebration. In every steaming plate of Shorshi Eilish, Hilsa cooked in mustard, or in the gleaming fins of a freshly caught fish, there is the shadow of a grandmother's wisdom, the laughter of siblings, and the stories of ancestors who built their lives along these very rivers. The ties that bind the people of Bangladesh, and West Bengal in particular, remain vivid and indelible, despite the historical events which once sought to divide. Migration, political boundaries, and partition redrew maps and redefined geographies. But Hilsa continues to swim from one bank to another, blurring lines that man has drawn. Traditionally, Bangladesh, with its rich and fertile river systems, has been the main cradle for Hilsa, and it is here that the largest catches originate before being generously shared with Bengalis in West Bengal, Assam, and elsewhere. This sharing is more than commerce. It is the handing over of a living legacy, a culinary inheritance that speaks of kinship and belonging. When the free flow of Hilsa is restricted by political decree, when export bans or policy disputes halt the age-old traffic between river and kitchen, the impact is not just a matter of missing a favorite delicacy or lost economic opportunity. What is disrupted instead is a much deeper current. The emotional and cultural lifeline that has for generations allowed Bengalis on both sides of a porous border to reconnect with their roots and reaffirm their sense of belonging. To deny this exchange is to ignore the stories, the love, and the shared aspirations that have run alongside the rivers for centuries. Bengali cuisine stands apart for its masterful simplicity, its delicate balance of flavors, and above all, its celebration of rice and fish. Where the kitchens of North India and Pakistan might revolve around wheat-based bread like roti and a higher predilection for meats, the Bengali table is distinctive in its preference for a steaming mound of rice, complemented by the smoky richness of slow-cooked fish dishes, dal, and vegetables. The river, not the field, guides the menu, and it is this deeply rooted habit, the rhythms of nature translated into the rituals of daily life, that underpins the Bengali experience. The significance of food runs even deeper, touching upon matters of autonomy and cultural pride. Centuries of history have taught Bengalis to protect their language and traditions fiercely. The imposition of cultural practices by external authorities, whether through state policy based in distant capitals like Delhi, or by bureaucratic control, is often met with cautious resistance, a quiet determination to honor what is local and unique. Nowhere is this more apparent than in disputes over food. When rules restrict the availability of Hilsa or any cherished component of Bengali cuisine, they are not merely perceived as inconvenient. Such actions are seen as disregard for the rich social fabric that nests within every meal and festival. For Bengalis, food is a language, a dialect of memory, unity, and celebration. And so, the struggle to keep the Hilsa swimming freely from one bank to another echoes louder than a quarrel over trade. It is a plea for recognition and respect, a call to honor the emotional map drawn as much by rivers and recipes as by history books and treaties. Sweets, too, form an important part of this cultural tapestry. Take, for instance, the iconic rosogola, soft, spongy orbs crafted from chana and soaked in sweet syrup. Asked anywhere in Bengal about rosogola, and the answer is the same. It is a taste of celebration, hospitality, and love. And in the colder months, when the air hangs heavy with the scent of ripe paddy and wood smoke, kitchens burst into life with the creation of pithas. These delicate rice cakes, sometimes filled with date palm jaggery or coconut, mark the harvest festival and bring people together to share the bounty of the land. With their regional variations and countless forms, pithas carry with them the warmth of home, the laughter of childhood, and the memory of those who taught us to make them. The heart of Bengali unity lies in these moments, where a plate of Hilsa shared across a table, or a cherished sweet passed from host to guest, becomes a living bond between people long separated by politics or geography. For the diaspora spread across continents and cities far from the river, the taste of Hilsa, or the soft grain of a winter pitha, is not merely nostalgia. It is a bridge to the beloved homeland left behind, a whisper of continuity in lives transformed by distance. To block Hilsa from crossing from one Bengal to another is not to merely stop a fish in its tracks. It is to clamp down on a current that flows through the emotions of millions, the taste that brings tears of joy and memories of home to lips across the world. It is to misunderstand how food, heritage, and kinship intertwine so completely that their separation would diminish not just the palate, but the very soul of a people. Instead, true progress lies not in such division, but in embracing what unites us. Let the rivers flow and the fish swim as they always have. Let the kitchens ring with stories and laughter, where the act of eating is not just sustenance, but an act of remembrance and love. Let Hilsa cross borders, carrying with it the hope of togetherness and the assurance that, no matter where or how we live, we remain bound by the same language, the same festivals, and the same cherished flavors. For in the end, to allow the sharing of Hilsa and sweets is to honor a living link, one that refuses to be broken by artificial lines on a map. It is to celebrate the resilience and warmth that define Bengali culture in every home, from Dhaka to Kolkata, from Silchar to London, and wherever a Bengali heart beats. Let us uphold that unity and let the heritage endure, carried on silver scales and sweet memories, as it always has.